You're skating too close to the knife's edge, and I'll say one more thing on this because this happens all the time. And this is just what I've seen from some of the companies that have applied and things like that, is that if I ask an entrepreneur and I'm like, hey, are you taking distributions? They're like, no, I'm reinvesting everything in the business. And I say, like, reinvesting in what? Like, what are you reinvesting in? Like, the term reinvesting in the business means that you are buying assets that are going to increase the company's value. So it means you're doing some sort of M&A, you're doing some sort of tuck-ins, roll-ins, whatever, of other companies or competitors, or you have capital expenses that are required to grow the business, which might mean I'm buying equipment, I'm expanding facilities, right? Those are capital expenses that would be investments to grow the business. I'm going to get a return on the capital. That is what the true meaning of reinvesting in the business is. The vast majority of the time, they say they are reinvesting in the business because they are just not making money. And so they assume that because they are not taking cash out of the business, they are reinvesting in it. When in reality, they are just not running a very good business. Because a very good business spits off cash. It spews money. That is what a good business feels like, right? And so unless they have a business that has a requirement that grows through capital, like anybody who's in the education space who says they are reinvesting in the business, I'm like, what are you reinvesting in? What asset are you buying that you're getting a return on through your business? Yeah. And usually they don't have an answer because they're not reinvesting in their business. They're just not that profitable.
Yeah. I wonder how many of those do that in order to show like an inflated revenue metric through like ROASs that are barely break even, just to show I made some huge amount of revenue to then sell their thing though to more people, which is a common tactic.
The guys like that are, oh yeah, it is. But you know, I've yelled at some of those guys because I know some of them. And been like, I'll tell you a story because I think it'll piss off somebody in the audience. So there was a guy that I know. He's still active today, and I knew that he was broke.
Yeah.
And he made an Instagram video that says, "Do you want to know how to be a millionaire in your 20s?" And so I screenshotted it and I texted it to him, and I said, "Do you know the definition of a millionaire?" And he was like, well, I've done $1 million in total sales. I was like, do you want me to repeat the question? And he was like, no. I was like, a millionaire means you have over $1 million in assets.
Yeah.
In exclusion of your primary residence. I was like, do you have that? He was like, well, no. And I was like, then stop lying to yourself. And so he ended up taking the thing down. And I was just like, dude, like the thing is that as much as like everybody gets upset about, so think about this as from a logical perspective for everybody who's listening. If we're like, this guy's broke, right? This guy's broke and he's pretending like he made all this money. He's already broke. Why are we upset? He's broke.
Yeah.
We're like, he's lying about having money. Okay, well then he doesn't have money. Then what are we upset about? He doesn't have money. And the thing is until they learn the lesson, they're never gonna get anywhere big. And by the time they do get somewhere big, they'll have learned the lesson and they won't be full of shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get as upset about it because I just see it as they don't know any better. I don't see it as malicious intent.
Yeah. No, I'm sure you've run into quite a few of those scenarios through your ClickFunnels days and experiences, because a lot of those guys, like obviously there's good utility of this software for sure. Like it's an amazing platform, but there's a lot of people that use it who just like lie about their shit and sell like make money online courses that shouldn't be, I feel like, for sure.
Yeah, and the thing is and I have a lot of love for the industry because almost everything I've learned has been from that space. You know what I mean? And so when I think about how much money I've spent in total for like the internet marketing courses and seminars and coaches and masterminds that I spent more on my 4-year degree. And that didn't tell me nearly as much. And so if we really want to get real, I think the problem is in the expectations that are being set. I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to teach somebody how to make money online, or teach someone how to make money using an ATM machine, or teach money how to have a marketing agency, or teach money how to become a videographer, or teach money how to become a better hairstylist. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think the problem is that people think that if they buy one course, they now should be a master entrepreneur. And so it's like, how can you take 120 credits in college, which is 40 courses, just to get a basic degree and then somehow assume that you're going to become a master of entrepreneurship from one course? It's a messed up expectation that people have. And that's why they get upset. No one's upset that they pay $200,000 and they give 4 years of their lives and they can make the exact same amount of money as they could graduating from high school.
Yeah.
No one's
Yeah,
upset about that. And it's because they don't set the expectation that way.
Yeah, when I realized what went into a successful company from a marketing aspect and how little my marketing degree actually was impactful of that and how irrelevant it actually was, I became pretty jaded of the whole post-secondary system, to be honest. So
Totally.
I definitely think there's a huge place for like high quality education in e-learning space for sure.
Totally. And how do you learn stuff? Apprenticeship. I mean, that's how they did it in the olden days. We just have tech that allows one person to be, many people to be an apprentice from one. It's the only difference is just tech has changed the way education works. And I think that the space has to catch up. It's so new. Like, formal education's been around for 100 years. Like, this has only been around for like 20, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you can count the Dan Kennedy, the old direct response mail guy, so you can kind of count that. But like in the way that we kind of all consume it now with like modules and courses and videos and things like that, like, it's so new. And so like there will be, I mean, Gym Launch is an example. Like Gym Launch is going to grow to 250 million, like it will.
Yeah.
And I mean, as long as they execute on the things they need to do, but they have a very reasonable strategy of getting there. And so why isn't there an academy for gym owners? Like, are you expected to just like learn how to just run it? Like, where are you going to learn how to run a gym? The business of running a gym is no one teaches it, and they should. And so it's like, what does it look like? How would we structure it, and what expectations would we set if we were really trying to do it right? And that's what we're trying to do at acquisition.com. You know what I mean? And obviously, companies that we start working with, they're not perfect. Of course, they're not. But we've got years to build this brand and slowly get better and better and better, just like anything. And I think people have these crazy, unrealistic expectations of just other humans that they don't even apply to themselves.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think it will eventually get more in the direction of where people see the value in these sort of things relative to, like when you actually just like compare and contrast your post-secondary education versus like a course, there's a huge delta, and like somehow people still will perceive it as rip-off, scammy, whatever, and somehow school is fine, even though how much practical information is there in the school part? Not a whole lot.
Dude, I was taking business courses from teachers and teachers' assistants that are making $5,000 a year. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with making $25,000 a year, but like if the whole point is to teach us how to like make more money.
Yeah. Yeah, the
I wouldn't be taking their advice.
The entrepreneurship degree I found the funniest of all. I'm just like, why are you here if you're teaching entrepreneurship? Like,
Unless you're a retired entrepreneur, like Harvard, Stanford,
sure.
Some of those professors are G's, you know what I mean? And they really just want to give back. And like they're savages. Like they've had billion-dollar exits and they've done multiple. Like they're legit, you know what I mean? But the thing is I think there's just a huge amount that are underneath of that are just not.